Hello, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, and cryptid critters. It's that very, very special time of year again. You know what time it is. We all grab 6 cards that have different monster parts on them and mash them together into a beautiful, beautiful beast. It's Monster Bash, baby. So I drew my 6 cards, and this is what I got. I could not be happier with the cards that I got this year. I have this old face mold. It's meant for cakes to do like doll face decorations, but I used it for resin. It worked fine. I don't have like a vacuum chamber or anything, so I did get a few air bubbles, but I thought it would be perfect to make like a Lamia type creature, except instead of a serpent, it being a centipede. I hate centipedes, by the way. Really gross. So all of these had air bubbles in them, which I was expecting, but this one came out pretty good and would work for my purposes. I'll be sure to use the rest of these for something cool later on. I then had to focus on getting my armature ready, and I'm really tired of my armatures causing cracks in my clay because they're not strong enough after several months. So this time I got some help welding some brake lines together, and let me tell you, this bad boy is strong. So I bulked it out with foil and was trying to get my general shape and make some of those bends in the brake lines a bit smoother. I made sure to do a hood for the back of the centipede's head, and I left a place to put the resin face later. I covered the entire front in Sculpey and began doing my detail work. I had to look at a lot of pictures of centipede bellies, and I hated them even more. I've been in the process of moving recently, so I really only had a couple of days to get all of this done, so I was very much a fan of quick, easy detail, and the ball stylus really helped get some really gross texture that I was very excited to wash. For all of the legs, I didn't really want to make them out of Sculpey because even if I put armature wire inside, I just felt like they were going to break. So Milliput was my best friend for this, and I had to make a lot of legs, 28 in total, which is, not quite 100, but it was still a lot of legs. I felt like most of this project was rolling out lots and lots of sheets of Sculpey, and I had to do it for the front, I had to do it for the back, but it was very easy. I just had to roll the sheets out and then layer them going from the bottom to the top. This worked out really well because it also hid all of the leg connections underneath all of the plates. I really wanted to make this piece detailed because of its size. It stands at about 15 inches tall. So I wanted to make sure that I did incorporate detail, but I didn't really have a lot of time. So I tried to keep it simple, tried not to overdo it. I love making hands. If you guys ever want a video on just making hands, let me know. Maybe I'll make like a hand monster or something. I took a quick break to love on my dog. He's a great motivator. And I think he's enjoying the new studio chair. I popped the body into the oven and got to work on the antlers. Needed something. I had to incorporate the mushroom card, but I had just the pieces, and I also could not forget about the wings. Luckily, I had some wingy bits that were close enough to the right size. My idea was to have the tiny little mushrooms growing off the antlers, and the wings I had chosen have little tiny skulls on them, so I felt like these mushrooms would help bring those skulls into size and make her look very kaiju sized. Once the body came out of the oven, I could glue the face in since it wouldn't have to go back in the oven again. I attached the horns and then detailed their connecting point with just some little dots. Like I said, I wanted to go with cheap, easy, effective detail. For the center of the tree card, I wanted to get interpretive with it, and I wanted to do like a rippling effect. So I sculpted out some ripples onto my wood base and then began coating it in wood glue. That way it would be nice and sealed for when I pour resin on top of it later. I took my model outside to prime it and enjoyed the nice fall evening. Everything always looks so much better when it's all primed and one cohesive color. Now, I'm not a fantastic painter when it comes to my sculptures. I'm much better at painting on canvas, but I've tried to start embracing my not so detailed, not quite technically correct way of painting and just enjoying the process. For the skeleton card, I thought it would be fun to do kind of a insect-like pattern on the back of the centipede. I know centipedes don't have patterns, at least I don't think they do. But this one also has human arms and a face and horns and wings, so like, doesn't matter. I dry brushed a light layer of barbarian flesh over the legs, the tummy, and the bottom of each scale on the back. I then took an army painter's red wash and washed all of the belly scales. I'm not going to lie, I was winging most of the painting process because I would have loved to do something that was very naturalistic in colors, but I just don't do that. I cannot stay away from like pinks and purples, and I was battling that this whole time. So I kind of go back and forth between naturalistic colors and some really fun and funky colors. So a lot of this was just trial and error. My favorite technique to use in painting is watercolor pens. Just to tone things the way I want them. I find it's not as committal as putting straight paint on because it comes off very easy. It blends easy. I don't have to worry about putting too much paint on the model and end up messing up what I already like. I went in with some yellow, orange, and red down the centipede belly and was really, really happy with that. Originally, I was thinking the whole torso would be pure white, but it just stood out a little too much to me, so I did kind of a gradient going up the face and to the tips of the hands in white. And then I started doing blushing work and shading work for the skin. Again, using my watercolor pens and then blending that out with a paintbrush. I've always been super interested in art dolls, and I see people do these incredible face-ups, and I'm all about trying scary things this month in lieu of Halloween. So I gave it my best to do a face-up on this doll face, and I think it came out okay. But it was definitely trial and error because I really had no idea what I was doing. I just tried to do what I do on canvas, which it's very different, but basically just trying to place it in similar areas that I would if I was painting a face on a canvas. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that was how I was going about it. I added those blues into the face, so I decided to add some of those blue-purple colors into the torso area just to help try to blend those two pieces together better and make them a little bit more cohesive. I ended up doing a similar thing on the ends of the hands and giving them like a pink tone just because her face ended up coming out so cute that the hands were a little too creepy and just plain white. I added some bright white little dots and highlights onto the face, so I decided to do the same thing going down the centipede belly, just to blend those together again. And then it was time to work on the base again, and I said I was going to do a resin pour, so we know what that means. You mix parts A and B together, you stir it up real nice, and you've gotta kind of work fast. Or at least I thought I did. It turns out I had like a 30-minute work time for this resin, so I was kind of rushing for no reason, but you know, the adrenaline was nice, I guess. I wanted to make sure that this resin was pretty dark and only slightly translucent to hide the sins of my sculpting for the base. So I made it pretty dark, so when I pour it over the ripples, hopefully it hides a lot of the imperfections of the base. I then decided to try to create some more little rings and details to further replicate the center of the wood. And I have to say, this was really, really fun, and I'm very happy with the way the base came together. I think the black and white ripples are so pretty. I then went and painted the wings and attached them and added some more color into the horns. And with that, my piece was done. And I have to say, I am super happy with the way this piece came together for the time that I had. If I could go back, there would definitely be some things I changed or worked on, or maybe would have planned for better. But at the end of the day, I had so much fun, and I highly encourage you to go check out everybody else's builds for Monster Bash, because everyone every year goes all out for it and makes some really, really incredible stuff. I will make sure to leave a link to the playlist and all of their channels below so you can check it out. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Happy Halloween, I guess. Okay, bye!